name is Abby, and if you found your way to my channel, welcome. It is the beginning of 2026. Because of that, I'm getting excited for a new year of reading. I've been super into books for almost all my life. I was of course obsessed with all of the very popular books in the 2010s. We have Twilight, Harry Potter, Hunger Games, Divergent, The Selection, stuff like that. I love To All the Boys I Loved Before. I kind of got out of reading in my late teens, but then fell in love with it in college in 2023. Me and my bestie cousin Ken, who also just started a booktubing channel, started reading all the Book Talk books. It Ends With Us, ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, and fell just back in love with reading through all of those, and the rest is history. So I really love to watch booktubing videos and thought it would be fun to try it out. It's a new year, why not? And I thought something that could be fun to do is talk about all the books that I read in 2025, as well as the books that I am looking forward to reading and that are on my TBR for 2026. Let's get into it. Last year in the year 2025, I read 36 books spanning 9 different genres. I would say that more than having one specific genre that I love the most, I really just look for books that are very analytical in nature, that have good writing, and have themes that are applicable to life. I love to learn things through books while also being entertained. And that's kind of what I look for in a 5-star read. Of all the genres that I read 8 fiction books, 7 romance books, 3 fantasy books, 2 autobiographies, 9 romanticies, which I am counting romantasy as a separate genre, 1 classic fiction novel, 2 young adult novels, 4 dystopian, and 1 sci-fi. Of those books, I rated 2 books 1 star, 1 book 2 stars, 8 books 3 stars, 11 books 4 stars, and 14 books 5-star. Some of them were rereads, actually probably a lot of them, but regardless, that's still a lot of 5 stars, especially because I don't feel like I give out 5 stars willy-nilly. So let's get into the specific books that I read. The first book that I read in 2025 was The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is a young adult mystery novel, and I think my parents recommended this book to me. Unfortunately, I did not really love it. It wasn't the worst book ever, but also definitely not the best, and I rated it 3 stars. After that, I read The House of My Mother by Sherry Frankie, which is an autobiography about her experience growing up with a narcissistic, abusive mother in the public eye as they were a YouTube family. In this book, she talks about her experiences with religion, OCD, and also living in Utah, which is where I'm from. And for all those reasons, I was very intrigued and I really liked it. I ended up giving it 4 stars. After that, in anticipation of the 3rd Empyrean series book, I reread Fourth Wing, which I gave 5 stars, and Iron Flame, which I gave 5 stars. I know some people have some critiques about this one, but I really like it. And unfortunately, that's where my enthusiasm ends with this series. I then read when it was released Onyx Storm, which was a major letdown. I rated it 3 stars. There were some parts of it that I did like and parts of it that were entertaining, but overall, I don't think that we needed most of the information in this book. There were a lot of plot holes that were happening and a lot of plot lines that were introduced, but then none of it was resolved or really touched on for more than 2 seconds. And overall, it's just very confusing. I think we needed the very last part of the book, and all the rest of it is kind of unnecessary, I fear. I will be reading the next one because I'm hoping that I'll like it like I liked the first 2, but that one was a major miss for me. After that, I read Book Lovers by Emily Henry, which I really loved and gave a 4 star. And then I read Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I thought this book was really interesting. This was my first book by this author, and I would like to read more of her novels. I Really appreciated the different perspectives that I was able to gain and learn about through this book, but the plot was kind of slow at a lot of points, so I gave this one 3 stars. Next, I read another Emily Henry funny story. Really, really love this one, 4.5 stars. Then I read, when it was released, Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, which is the Hunger Games book specifically about Haymitch and his games. I really, really liked this one. I gave it 3 stars. And then because of that book, I wanted to revisit the original trilogy. So I read all 3 of these as a reread, and these books are all 5-star, 6-star, flawless, no notes. I'm obsessed with them. I could reread them over and over again, and it's just like the first time. After that, Emily Henry's new book was released for the year, which was Great Big Beautiful Life. This one unfortunately did not hit for me like the other ones. I liked the romance and the overall themes of it were very cute, but there was a whole plot line that I really just did not care about, and it made it kind of hard to get through the book. After that, I started the Powerless series, which the first one I rated 4 stars. It was really good, very refreshing. I feel like a lot of us are a little bit tired of the same plots and tropes that we've been seeing in the romantasy genre, and this one was a breath of fresh air. I really, really liked it. Directly following that, I read the second one in that series, Reckless, which was a 4.75, so close to a 5-star for me. Loved it more than the first one even. The romance was so good and I got through it so quickly. Then I read what would turn out to be now my favorite standalone book of all time, The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. I love this book. It's so good. I probably sound like a broken record. I tell this to everyone. I recommend it to everyone. This book deals with a girl who goes back to her hometown for the first time in years to see her family for the first time in years because of the passing of her father, and this forces her to deal with trauma from her past, broken relationships with her family, and there's a subplot of romance which is so good. It also deals a lot with Christianity in America, which I found to be very fascinating, and overall it's just a really good read. Next, I was surprised by a random book that I picked up called The Favorites by Lane Fargo. I believe this is their very first book, and I loved it. It's so dramatic, so fast-paced. My jaw was on the floor for literally the entire time I was reading it. I read Fearless, which is the 3rd book in the Powerless series. I liked this one, but it wasn't as good as the other ones, and I rated it 3 stars. Normal People by Sally Rooney, and I read this in 1 day, and I really, really liked it. I rated it 4 stars. I almost wonder if I should change it to 5, because I think about it all the time, and I really, really liked it. After that, I read The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. This series is so well done. This was a reread, actually, but really good. Love this story, love the characters, so well written. I read Pride and Prejudice. I was ashamed that I hadn't read it till now, and so I read it, of course loved it, 5 stars. Oh, I just realized this is The Way of Kings and not the second one. The second book in the Stormlight Chronicles, which is Words of Radiance. I loved that one even more than the first one. It's so well written, and I rated it 5 stars. Then I read The Wedding People, really liked this book, gave it 4 stars. I then started my Ali Hazelwood journey and read The Love Hypothesis. I have no idea why I never read her books up until this point. I was missing out. This book was so good. She really knows how to write a romance novel. 5 stars. I read Nia Siox's autobiography. I think that's how you say it. Really, really liked it. It was really interesting as someone who grew up watching Dance Moms to hear about her perspective and her take on that part of her life. I gave it 4 stars. After that, I reread To Kill a Mockingbird, which is obviously a 5-star. This is one of my favorite books of all time. Also, my copy of it is so cute. I'm obsessed with it. Anyways, always gonna love this book. Fun to reread it every once in a while, and I think everyone should read it if you haven't. It's so applicable, I think, also to today in different ways, and was so ahead of its time. Next I made the very large mistake of reading all 3 books in the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. I have for years had this on my radar. I've heard so many good things about it, and so I wanted to give it a try. And unfortunately, it was the most major letdown. There were so many weird plot things happening in this book, so many things that never got wrapped up. I did not like it. Unfortunately, it was entertaining enough that I did read all 3, which I really shouldn't have. And the payout at the end was none. So, would not recommend. Next, I continued my Ali Hazelwood journey and read Love Theoretically. This one was also wonderful, and I rated it 4 stars. I read a novella that is in between the 2nd and 3rd Stormlight Chronicle books. This one was cute. It introduced a new character that will be in the rest of the books, and I rated it 3 stars. I also at some point in the year read Hot for Slayer by Ali Hazelwood. It's just a little novella. It wasn't my favorite, and I give it 1 star. And I also read People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. Love this book, 5 stars. Next I read a sci-fi, which is out of my comfort zone. I don't usually read this genre. And the book was called Recursion by Blake Crouch. It deals a lot with time travel. Basically, it deals with the different choices that we make, the ones we regret or the ones we're happy about traumatic instances we go through in life, happy ones, difficult ones, sad ones, and basically the repercussions of messing with time and how important the things are that we learn through each experience that we have in life. It was so trippy and also really good. I still think about it all the time. And I rated it 4 stars. And last but not least, I read Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. This one ended up being so good. An automatic 5 star. It deals with the girl who has OCD. I have OCD, and so it was so relatable to me, and I just really, really loved it.